Welcome to another episode of Prisoner to Billionaire. This one is entitled Getting Incarcerated. The reason I entitled it that because the last couple of months I just been talking about how, my upbringing and whatnot. And I want to get a little bit more in depth into what it is I'm really trying to do here. And that's really trying to give you an experience of how it was for me getting incarcerated and kind of like let the disadvantaged youth, you know what I mean, like the struggling youth out there understand like all the little dynamics of the system, and so that they can understand it if they're gonna go that way or if they not, and try to prevent them from going that way if they is in that lifestyle. So, excuse me, I feel like I'm getting a little sick over here, but I'm still gonna try to do this like I said. So, like for me, it was really my first time in an adult facility. When I got incarcerated, when I went to the county jail, when I got locked up, I ended up, like I said, I was 18. You know, I caught my case. It's like a couple. Well, I didn't really catch my case. So I committed my crime, which was attempted murder, and and I ended up getting sentenced to premeditated attempted murder, and I got 6 plus life. When I first went to the county jail, I was young, still active in the streets, doing what I do. So I went up in there on some bull, you know what I mean? Like, it was what it was. I know I say that a lot, excuse me, but it was what it was. And for me, like getting incarcerated, I've been to juvenile maybe like a couple times, but it wasn't never really for no long stretches. And my head had got kind of big on the streets because I was doing a lot out there, and some of my older homies that was around my age, like that, they was like, "Who you going to jail?" And my head was so big at the time that I was like, "I ain't never going to jail." And I honestly thought I really wasn't going to jail. I thought I end up dead on the streets. I didn't think I was going to live too much longer after my 18th birthday anyway. So it wasn't like I was avoiding the bullet, because I remember like growing up, like I wanted my name to mean something, like in the streets. I felt like I needed that hood status to make myself feel good about myself. I really didn't like myself growing up. Like I had a lot of insecurities, and it derived from a lot of different places. And but I didn't recognize them at the time. I felt, what I mean, like I felt lost, to be honest. I feel like I didn't get love from nowhere, especially like I told y'all on the last episode that after my grandma died, I felt like I was alone for real. And let me explain about my grandma's death too, because so you get an understanding of like where my mind was at after she passed away. Like the night she died, I was at the house, we like I was living over there at the time, and she called me in the living room, and it's crazy that it all happened. Like I don't get a lot of stuff you be going through or I be going through. I don't recognize it in the moment, but then later on in life, when you have time to think about it, especially sitting in prison, like a lot of things become aware to you that you wasn't aware of at the time when things was going on. So for me, what I realized is that she had already knew she was about to pass away, like prior, like maybe like a year or two prior to her even dying. And I didn't realize it at the time, but I remember like sometimes we'd be like at the house, me and my little sister would come over there sometimes, and she'd take us through the house. She's like, "What you want when I die?" She'd ask us, and then we'd be like, "Oh, I want this, I want that, I want this, I want that," and not really realizing exactly what she was doing at the time. Like she was really trying to ask us what we want because she knew she was about to pass away. But we young, we ain't really paying attention to what's really going on. And like I said, I realized this later on, like while I was locked up. But on the night that she passed away, she called me in the living room. She laying on the couch. My auntie over there, my daddy. It's really my daddy cousin, but she my daddy cousin, so she a grown old, and we call her that's my auntie. You know, like we always know her as my auntie, and she over there, my little cousins, her sons, and she like she tell me she love me, she give me a kiss. You know, I gotta go to the hospital, but I'll see you later. I love you, whatever, whatever. Cause she always just tell me like we never say bye. We always say see you later, alligator. And I'll be like after a while, crocodile. You know how that saying go. If you don't, that's how it goes. So she say our little saying or whatnot. And then my auntie take us to some lady house, babysitters. I can't remember who the lady was, but me and my cousins, we over here, baby. She waiting on her to come pick us back up. So she didn't come pick us back up until the next day. And then when she come pick us back up, I'm worried about my grandma, trying to hoping she all right or whatever. Cause my grandma, like, she never really went to the hospital like that. She was always at the house. And so, like, for her to go to the hospital, like, that was bothering me. So we ended up going back to her house. And I'm ready to jump out the car, ready to run in there, hug my grandma, make sure, like, say I love you, make sure she all right, right? And my auntie stop us, like stop me and my cousins from going in the house. Hold on, I want to talk to y'all. She tell us. So she stood us down on the curb in front of my grandma's house, and she was like, "Well, I just want to let y'all know that your grandma passed last night." And when she said it, it kind of like it really didn't register at first, but then as I'm thinking about it, like I'm like sitting there, and then she sees to see my like what you mean she passed? You know what I mean? She like, well, your grandma died last night. Man, that kind of messed me up. You know what I mean? Like that was the only person I felt loved me at the time. So when she passed away, it was like I was sitting at the curb. She telling me that, and then my cousins like they a little younger than me, so I guess it didn't hit them as hard as it hit me. So they just like it was nothing. They just started because, like I said, it was field across the street, and they went to the field, start playing or whatever. You know what I mean? And I'm sitting on the curb and it's bothering me. Like I'm crying, I'm going through whatever I'm going through mentally, and it's like it kind of made me mad that they was over there playing. Like me and my grandma just died. Y'all over here playing like it ain't nothing, and that kind of like that messed me up too because it was like I didn't feel like they cared like I did about my grandma. Even though that I know they did, but it was like I didn't feel that way at the time, and I don't know that stuff bothered me. But even later on after like when they had the funeral, I guess my grandma had set it up because like she set it up to where basically I got my own limo, and I didn't. That wasn't cool for me back then. Like I didn't want to be around nobody, but I didn't like being in excuse. I didn't like being in the limo by myself neither. And at her funeral, like when they had the open casket funeral, a lot of like, so I'm like, we sitting in the family area with it and whatnot. I'm right there by my mom and my sister and my brother, or whatever, and the rest of the family. So I didn't want to look at her because every time I look up at her, it was like I felt like I was gonna cry. So what I did was I just like I had her obituary in my hand. I just kept reading her obituary over and over and over and over again as they was talking. And you had certain family members, her my grandma's sister and all that. They crying and they falling out and doing whatever they doing. And it's like I'm trying not to pay attention to it because I'm trying to hold it in because I really want to cry bad. And it's like it was a point in time. You know how when people go around and they view the body, then they walk around shaking everybody hand and whatnot. And then there was one person that came by and I looked up and they was shaking my hand and I just like it just broke me for some reason. Like it just when they walked by and they shook my hand, I just couldn't stop crying no more. That was it. I just like started crying and I couldn't stop. And then when I went up there to view they took us up there to view my grandma's body. And I don't know how people took it because I grabbed her hand. Her hand was cold. It was hard. It was cold. And I gave my grandma a kiss. And it's like, that's my grandma, man. But after that, like, like I said, even though I was staying with my grandma at the time, and I told y'all before that my mama told me I couldn't come back to the house. I was still going back and forth to the house, but now I just live with my grandma because, like I said, I had to take care of my little. I was trying to help take care of my little brothers and sisters, and every now and then, like I told y'all, my mama started doing bad, and then she'd move out here with her mom and them. But now, since I was over here with my mom, with my daddy's mama, she ended up start coming living over there for a little while to get back on her feet, and then back because my daddy had owned houses before he died, so we still had houses. So she had ended up renting the house out and then moving with us until she get back on her feet, or we might move back out there, or she might move back out there, whatever the case may be. But when my grandma died, it was like she was already out at her mama house, at my grandma on her side house, and I didn't want to go out there with them. I ended up moving in with my auntie for a little while, but then that ended up being a problem because her and my mama didn't get along because, like I say, all the stuff that my grandma went around saying what me and my sister want, whatever, it didn't come to us, and I ain't like, I don't know the whole dynamics of that stuff. I love my auntie and I don't know what's going on. I don't know nothing about that whole situation. All I know is that by the end of their argument or whatnot, I didn't have nowhere to stay no more. So, and then my pride would let me just go back out there with my mom there for a while. So I was like kind of like on the streets. And a lot of people don't know this, like I don't even know if my mom and them know this because my auntie either because I guess my mama probably assumed I was with my auntie and my auntie probably assumed I was with my mama, but I wasn't. I was on the streets, like literally on the streets. I don't think pretty much none of my family pretty much know that. I wasn't sleeping on the streets. I had different homeboys or different people. I go sleep at their house and they don't. I can't say I wasn't sleeping on the street because a couple times I was sleeping on the streets. Like out on the street for real. So and then over time, then I think my mama moved back. She got back on her feet and she moved back. And then, like I say, the area where we stayed at, it was rough. So she was working again, and she wanted me to come there and babysit. Like make sure my little brothers and sisters was all right. So I ended up over there for a little while. Anyway, that's that story. I'll get more in depth later on down the line. Like I said, I want to get more into what I'm trying to do here as far as trying to help the youth and like not just the youth, but people that's coming home from prison too that been down for a long time. I want to get them to let them understand what's expected out here or what's to expect out here when they get home. Because for me, like a lot of like I think I said, I don't know if I said it before, but I got like a lot of shocks. Certain things that I didn't realize was going to affect me was starting to affect me out here, trying to get on my feet, and not just trying to get on my feet, but little things that people might not understand. It was certain things like me, like say I go to a fast food restaurant or something, and I'm standing in line, and I ain't been here in a while, and then I'm a little older now, so my eyesight ain't what it used to be. So I'm looking at the menu or whatnot, but it's a line behind me. So I'm feeling kind of rushed a little bit. Not really rushed by them, but internally I'm feeling rushed, and I don't want to look stupid because I don't know what I want. So whoever I'm with at the time, I'll be like, just give me whatever you getting. You know what I mean? Instead of me getting what I want, and then sometimes I'll be doing that, and then people be like, "Man, get what you want," but I don't really know what I want because I ain't been out here for a long time. I don't, and I'm kind of like feeling a certain type of way that I'm taking up time from these people trying to get what they want. So it kind of like affect me a little bit, and I got a lot of things that go on like that like even with job interviews, I know people say that they don't ask you no more on the applications if you've been incarcerated or whatnot, but they got different avenues around that nowadays. Like they'll say something like, "Or have you been on parole in the last such amount of years. So now they're not saying have you been incarcerated, just saying have you been on parole. And of course I've been on parole and I'm asked such amount of years. Then that leads to the question, what was you on parole for? Why did you go to jail? And then so it's like those interviews and I've been like I said, I went to prison for premeditated attempted murder, like assault assault premeditated attempted murder, um, the gun, and assault with a great bodily injury. So it was all pretty much on the same case. And now I'll tell you about that case later on. I don't know if I'm supposed to be expressing all that, but my case over with, so I'll tell you what it was. Now, like I said though, I had never been in adult prison before or adult facility before. So I'm coming in there, and the county jail is a little bit different than going to prison. And so I'll tell you about my county jail experience sometime later, but I want to express what went on like with my case. Because when I first got locked up, you know, it was like the night I got locked up, I remember when I I got in the county jail, and one of my cousin's homeboys was up in there. He was in the holding tank, and I'm in the holding tank with him, and he's like, "Man, don't say nothing." And I'm thinking I ain't tripping. Like, nigga, who you think you talking to, nigga? I know I ain't finna say nothing, nigga. Like, I ain't gonna say nothing. I ain't telling him that, but I'm like, for sure, I ain't saying that, nigga. I ain't that type of person. Oh, excuse my nigga. I hope y'all don't take that the wrong way. It is what it is. How I talk. I'm just gonna be me on here. But so I'm thinking I'm like in a like the dry tank for those people that they got drug or got trying to they're giving them a dry out from drug use or alcohol or whatever the case may be. But as I'm sitting in there, some investigators come in. Some investigators come in and they take me to a little interview room or whatnot. And when they start asking me questions about the crime I committed, like however many, like a couple, maybe a week at the most or so, prior to me getting arrested. I think it was like 2 weeks or somewhere around there. So they asking me questions about it. I'm like, man, I don't know nothing about nothing. And the crazy part is, like I say, my cousin homie, he was like, don't say nothing, nigga, don't say nothing. So I'm gonna tell y'all this. When people tell you don't say nothing, that means absolutely nothing. That don't mean I don't know nothing. That means don't say nothing. Because them Miranda rights that they read you, they use everything against you. They use anything that you say after they give you them Miranda rights, anything you say, even if it's like I don't know nothing about nothing, they're gonna use that against you somehow because you said something. So the only thing I would say is I need an attorney or something of that nature because once you say that, they can't illegally ask you no more questions. And that's the best way of not saying nothing and legally protecting yourself from anything they say. Because even if they ask you any more questions at that and you do say something, they can't use it because they violated your right. So remember that. Because like I don't know nothing about nothing. So they kind of use that against me in my case, but it really wasn't nothing. It really wasn't much, but anything that leans in towards it, their direction is not beneficial to you. So when I was in the county jail, like they gave me the public pretender. It wasn't like I can't say all the public defenders is public pretenders, but the one they gave me was not for me. Like, and I found that out ASAP because I guess the DA had offered me a deal. So this public defender, we on an attorney client visit, and it's like in a little room, where it's just me and him in there, and he telling me he's like, "Oh, I got locked up in '95, just so y'all know, so you'll understand where I'm going with this." And it was like a little bit after or around the OJ trial, and it was like, he tell me, "Well, the DA just offered you a deal, and I think you should take it." And I'm like, "What's the deal?" He was like, "Well, they offer you 25 to life." I said, 25 to life. I'm like, man, you crazy. You know what I mean? Like, man, I ain't taking no 25 to life. You supposed to be trying to get me off. And he was like, "Well, O.J. Simpson spent $400,000 or $500,000 for his attorney. This what you get for what you paid for." You want to say? You want me to say that again? He said O.J. Simpson spent $500,000 for his attorney. This what you get for what you pay for. And for y'all that don't know, like a public defender is free. So I ain't paid nothing, and that's the type of defense he gonna give me. Man, I jumped over the table, I grabbed him around the neck, and I was like choking him. And it's crazy because like if y'all listen to my podcast that's over here on Spotify, like it's just the audio version. You probably hear a lot more than what I'm saying on here right now, but it kind of like threw me for a loop, and I was tripping because I probably could have did more damage if I'd have been firing on him or punching on him. I don't know what made me choke him, but I just like that's what I did. I just had him around the neck, and somehow I don't even remember how the police or COs in there knew what was going on. But next thing I know, they come in there doing what they do. You know what I mean? Like taking me down, whatnot, and they hit like hog tie me, and they was carrying me out. But he was already outside but by the time they carrying me out, and I'm like, man, you fire, you ain't my lawyer no more. He's like, well, you can't afford no attorney, you can't afford no lawyer, da 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 da, all this and that. So in our county jail, like it's called an elevator ride for y'all. I know the ones out here know, but the elevator ride for us out there in our county jail, because we got elevators that take us up and down the stairs. I mean, up and down the floors and whatnot. So when the police take you on the elevator ride, that means they taking you on the elevator because ain't no cameras in. Well, I don't know what it is now, but when I was in there, it ain't no cameras inside the inside inside the elevator. So they free to do whatever they gonna do, and they did what they did, and I ain't even mad at it because I really ain't mad about it because I didn't get no charges or nothing for what I had done. So hey, it was what it was. I ain't never say nothing. They ain't never say nothing. I appreciate y'all. Thank you. You know what I mean? Like so. Anyway, like now after this, I had a little. I just started having a little money when I came to prison. Well, not a little money. I had some money when I came to prison, and like before then, so y'all know I was broke. Like growing up, I was broke. So don't get it misunderstood. But I just started having coming into some money right before I got locked up, or a little prior to before I got locked up. I started having a little stuff. So I get at my folks, people that's got my money or whatever, my grandma and all them, and I'm like, man, I need to give me an attorney. And they're like, well, you want us to try to bail you out, or you want us to get you an attorney? And I'm thinking in my mind now I'm thinking back, I should have bailed out because it could have helped me more. I could have prolonged the case or whatever the case may be. I could have afforded to get another attorney. So they give me an attorney after I got out. So because they was like, well, either you want us to bail you out or you want us to pay for this attorney. We can't do both. You know what I mean? Because I had to spend it while I was in there and all that stuff too. So I'm like, man, just give me an attorney. I'll worry about billing out later. So they got me an attorney. Now I'm going to. I don't know if it's. I don't think it was prelim. It was something before prelim, but I'm going to one of my hearings. And in our county jail, like they shackle us all together and they put us up in the jury box when it ain't no real trial. It ain't trial or nothing yet. So we all in the jury box, me and some other convicts or whatnot. One second, I'm back. Sorry about that. Like where I was like, oh, they put us all in the jury box or whatnot, and they put us all in the jury box, and we sit there, and each individual goes to their case or whatnot. So, like the judge is over here, and the attorneys they come up to the pulpit or whatever it's called right there, where the jury is at the jury box. They come to the jury box and they talk to their clients or whoever it may be. So I'm in the jury box, and my attorney over here. I mean my family over here. Like all the family is over here in that area. People's families and whatnot. My mom and my grandma and different individuals. And so and I'm like, I'm sitting there, man. Why I see this public pretender come into the door under the courtroom, and he walk over to me like he's still representing me. Man, I just come like they holding somebody else's proceedings right now. So they doing what they do, but our attorney's supposed to come talk to us while they doing whatever they do over there. So he talking to me. He tried to come over and talk to me. Man, I flashed on him. I'm like, man, get the out of my face, man. You got me. I got another attorney. Get your ass on my face. You got me fucked up. And it's crazy because like the judge, they stopped the other proceedings of somebody else's case, the other case, and he like, hold on, what's going on over here? Well, I tell the judge, like, man, this ain't my attorney no more. I got like, man, I don't want him over here with me. And so, it's crazy because it's excuse me, it went like a movie. You know what I mean? Because it wasn't planned or none of that. But next thing I know, as we talking, I'm talking to the judge, and then here comes my new attorney, the one I hired, walking into the courtroom. And he like, "Oh, I'm representing. My name Daryl Wright. I got a son by Daryl Wright. So y'all probably see some of his podcast. I think Daryl Wright 3. I'll probably upload his link in here so y'all can check out what he got going on. He got a YouTube channel. I mean, not a podcast. I don't know what you want to call it, but yeah. Anyway, I'm Junior. So he like, I'm representing Daryl Wright. Woo, woo. And so now the pretender looking like stunned. He looking embarrassed. His face turned red. All the stuff. And so they go talk to the judge together. Him and the public tender. Next thing I know, dude just like the public tender just walk on out the courtroom looking stupid. Everybody in there looked like I don't know. It just seemed like everybody was happy about that moment because everybody can see like what's going on with this dude, and not just them, but the other perpetrators, like people, families is out there look like they want to clap, they like give me thumbs up or whatnot, but and it felt good to do that. Anyways, like so I get this attorney. He was good. Like I ain't gonna lie, he was a good attorney, and but I felt like he was overconfident about my case because he had associates and he had this one that he had come and try to represent me, but I didn't realize that he wasn't gonna the original attorney wasn't gonna represent me because during preliminary hearing he was there at the prelim and he like all the witnesses or whatever he like made their testimonies mean nothing. So even myself, I felt like, oh yeah, this is rap. And so he sent his associates to start talking to me. But I'm thinking when he come talk to me on my attorney client visits, I'm thinking that he just coming there because my attorney might be in trial or something or other court case or something like that. I didn't know that he was going to represent me throughout my trial. And I didn't say nothing when he did show up to my trial because I don't know. I was young at the time. I didn't know. And that's what I mean. That's why I'm doing this stuff like this because I want y'all to understand that you need to be more authoritative in what you say, be more knowledgeable of the people that you have representing you, and then be more knowledgeable of what's going on in your case. Because things be going on in the courtrooms that you might not have no understanding of, and then when you get to the time that they gonna give you, then you start trying to go to the law libraries and stuff when you get to prison. A lot of people don't even go to the law library and stuff because they thinking their attorneys is gonna represent them and get the appeal attorneys gonna represent them and get them out. But a lot of times in the state courts where they give you an attorney, they don't really overturn them cases because they're not gonna overturn the case that they themselves already sentence you under. So it's a lot of times you get your help or your what's the word I'm looking for? You get you get justice when you get to the federal courts normally if they do decide to change overturn your case or something of that nature. And when it's time for you to get to those federal courts, you don't have attorney. And you don't find this out until your attorney tell you, oh, your case was denied in the Supreme Court or whatever. And now you have a year to file on your own. So if you ain't got no money to hire no attorney, or if you don't got no knowledge in legal in the legal world, then it's gonna be hard for you to kind of like file that next case where you can get your relief in the federal courts. So my advice to you is to pay attention to what's going on If you do happen to end up in prison, then make sure you get in that law library, like, and learn some stuff. There be people up in there. A lot of times, even for me, it was like hard for me to like get in that law library because you don't know. So you just going in there. I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing up in there, but ask somebody. Don't be afraid to ask for help because it's available. And nowadays they got tablets, they got legal stuff all on the tablets. So when you get those tablets, don't just get on there trying to talk to people all the time and play games and listen to music and watch TV or whatnot. Get in there and learn some stuff legally so it can help you to try to get yourself up out of that situation. But I've been on here for a minute, but I don't want to stop yet because I still got some other stuff that I want to talk about, especially pertaining to what happened with me. Like I said in my last one, or probably two the other ones, I don't know which one I said it in, but I was initially sentenced to youth authority. And what happened with my case was when this new dude came in, like after the preliminary hearing, even the DA kind of like knew that they didn't really have no case against me like that. So what they did was they presented another deal. And I advise y'all too to take them deals seriously because you never know what a jury gonna come back and do if you if you never know what a jury gonna do. So my advice is when they offer you something a good deal, even though it might be years down the line, weigh your options. Don't just think, oh, I ain't trying to go to prison or I got this. Because my thoughts was that my kids is gonna be a certain age because the offer that they came to me with was 6 years. My attorney came when he came in there. He was like, "Well, I got the DA came with another deal. The DA came with another deal." And I'm like, "What's the deal?" And he was like, "They offer 6 years." And in my mind, I'm like, 6 years, okay. I really, a part of me really wanted to take that deal. I'm not even gonna lie. And he was like, "Man, they went down from 25 years to life to 6. We got this beat." That's what he told me. So that kind of like, okay, even though I wanted to take this deal, maybe I need to think about this more. So I still didn't make up my mind that I wasn't gonna do it. I was like, let me think about it. But in my mind, I told myself, okay, this is what I'm gonna do because I had never been in prison and all that stuff before. So I was like, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go back to my pod. It's called pods and sections or whatever y'all got call them in y'all cities and sitting in y'all county jails. I'm gonna go back to the pod and I'm gonna ask some people. I'm gonna be like, man, they offered me 6 years. What you think? You think I should take it? And I told myself, if just one person tell me to take that deal, I'm gonna jump on it. All I wanted to hear was one person. I'm gonna ask my family. I'm gonna ask everybody, should I take the deal? So that's what I did. I went back to the pod. I'm like, hey, bro, man, they offered me 6 years. What you think? You think I should take it? They went down from 25 to life to 6. You think I should take it? And I didn't hear that from nobody. Even the people that had been in prison before, they didn't tell me not to take it, but it was more like, I can't make that decision for you. You got to make it yourself type stuff. And I understand that, but I wish I would have heard somebody be like, man, 6 years for what you been in jail for? Man, you better jump on that. You know what I mean? Because that's what I do now. Like if I don't, I can't tell everybody the same thing because different cases is different. But for the majority of it, I was sitting here because in my mind, because like I said, my first son, he had turned 2 while I was in there. My second son, he was born while I was in there. So I'm sitting there thinking in my mind, like, damn, if I take this deal, my kid's gonna be 6 and 8. I was like, man, I can't take that. That's what I was thinking in my mind. But if I had been in prison before or been incarcerated, I'd have knew about time, because like not only wouldn't I had to do a whole 6 years because I had time credits for being in the county jail, and then you're gonna get good time credits and stuff. You gonna like I would end up probably doing like at the most if I max out like 4 years. And I know the 4 years probably seem like a lot to some people in here, but 27, 4. You know what I mean? Like balance it out. But then I ended up going to trial and I lost a trial. So I didn't take the deal. I ended up going to trial, lost a trial. Now, the judge didn't even want to sentence me to life. But when you get found guilty of premeditation, that's an automatic life sentence in California. So, but I didn't know this. Nobody knew this. I, like, well, my attorney. I don't know if he knew it. He acted like he didn't know it. So, because it wasn't the original attorney. Like I said, this new attorney that his associate didn't do the job that the other attorney did. So the judge was like, at citizen, the judge was like, look, man, I don't feel like he deserves a life sentence. So what I'm gonna do is sends you he said no, he said I'm gonna give you no, he didn't say that first. He said I'm gonna send you to 25, I mean 20 with 85%. That's what he said, 20 with 85%. But the DA was like, no, he got found guilty of premeditation. That's automatic life sentence. And then the judge was like, he used like the DA used code such and such whatever. So the judge was like, okay, well, I don't feel like he deserves a life sentence. So what I'm gonna do is give you the least time I can give you and sentence you to youth authority. And like I said, I was 19 at sentencing. And he was like, well, I'm gonna give you the least time, which is 6 years plus life, and then sentence you to youth authority. And then in youth authority, you're supposed to go home at 25 or whatever the case may be. So I was 19, the six would have made 25, and they gave me an opportunity to go home. He said, if you messing up, he said, this give you opportunity to go home. If you messing up, you're gonna go to prison. But if you programmed and doing what you're supposed to do, then you have the opportunity to go home. So that's what it was. That's what the sentence was. So I'm sitting in county jail. I'm like, okay, I'm going to Hawaii. I got a couple homies in there, different individuals I mess with. Hey, I didn't heard about what's expected in Hawaii. Go in there, do what you do. And do what you do. I already got it in my mind, whatever. So that's where my head was at. I'm going to youth authority. So, like I'm waiting on the youth authority bus to come pick me up. And in our county jail at that time, it was like you think the youth authority bus came on, I forgot what day, like Thursday or something like that, or Tuesday. And then the other bus for prison come on like Tuesday, Thursday, something like it, or Friday. One of them, I can't remember exactly how it was, but it was the youth authority bus come first. So if you on that bus, if you don't get on that week, then you got to, you wait until next week to see if you're on the next bus. But I'm sitting there waiting on the youth authority bus, and they passed me up that week. So I'm like, okay, I'll at least be here for another week. You know what I mean? Call folks, put money on books, or get some can't go to canteen, whatever. And when the prison bus come that next whatever day it was, that it was on the same week that they already passed the youth authority bus. It's like they call my name to pack my stuff. I'm going to physical reception center. So I'm sitting there like, what you mean? Y'all got me on the wrong bus. I'm supposed to be going to youth authority because I know this prison because it's on the day that prison bus come. It's like, oh well, you better deal with that when you get to where you going because they got you scheduled to go here. Man, I got to like now I'm lost because I got uncles been in prison, step like I say, step pops been in prison, like I've homeboys like I didn't heard about prison. You know what I mean? Like, so I'm like, my mind wasn't set on prison. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't think of nothing about no prison. I'm thinking about, I'm supposed to go to youth authority. We supposed to get down, do what we do. But prison is like this real men stuff. You know what I mean? Like, we going in there, like, I ain't got no gun in there. So, I ain't scared of fighting. I wasn't scared of fighting. But at the end of the day, it was like, my mind wasn't prepared to be going to prison. So, like I say, I end up having to get on that bus, and it was like, deal with that when you get to prison. And got to the reception center, and got in prison. I ain't gonna go this has been kind of long already, and I really didn't touch none of this stuff that's on here. But I gave y'all a little bit of something, a little bit of content of where I'm trying to go. Because I ain't only gonna be talking to myself. I want to talk to people like other individuals, how it affected them, like people that's incarcerated, people that have life and they out on the streets now, like my kids, other people's kids, they family members, how it affected them on the outside. I just want to open up the doors to give people a platform to be able to express what they really feel emotionally, how it affects them and their families, and to prevent other individuals from having to go through the same things. Man, you know what I mean? It's all about that. We're trying to take care of everybody and make sure we all well mentally, emotionally, and hopefully financially. Y'all take care. Another episode, Prisoner to Billionaire.